good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Um, wherever you are. I love you all. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. I don't have too much time, so I have to try to jump in. And I've been trying to go live every day. I've been trying to keep that going for you guys because I love you guys. You guys are like loving me, you know. So yeah. So we're gonna jump into this Naziah thing. I was doing some research, okay, because Naziah's body still has not been found. So rest in peace to Naziah Harris, and sending positive energy and blessings and prayers to the innocent family members, and her friends, school, teachers, you know, all of that good stuff. So yeah, again, sending positive energy y'all way. I know this can be very heavy. And it can be very heavy. Yesterday I had to take a break because it's just like, ugh, and it's so much information. So drinking in a bunch of trauma can be hard. So I gotta do it in doses. So yeah, so I found out some more information. Okay, again, her body has not been found, so I think it's very important that the spot was shined on this story. Okay, it's very important. We need to find her body. Um, please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Okay. I would like to shout out Nika Knight. I think she's been doing a wonderful job with Naziah's story. I would also like to shout out Potent Pondering. I think he's been doing great as well. I love when stories inspire people, you know, and inspires me because they really want to help. And I can see that in Nika Knight, and I can also see that in Potent Pondering. So shout out to the both of those channels. Please go check them out. Potent Pondering's been following the story. Nika Knight has been following the story. So make sure y'all go check them out. Okay, absolutely. So y'all, I was doing some brainstorming, critical thinking, if you will, and I started to realize some things. Okay. Let's get into something real quick. We're also going to listen to Naziah's cousin. She did an interview. It's a shorter interview. It's about 20 minutes long. So we're going to listen to that really quick too. But before we do, I want to cover some things that I think have been being overlooked, if you will. So shout out to Green Eyes, Maxie, Hazeway, Roz, Brittany, Baby Shay, all of y'all. Please hit the like. Thank y'all all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Again, I'm not ignoring y'all, I promise. I just have a certain amount of time and I really want to get this information out. One, so that I don't forget, and two, any way I can help, I want to. So is it right here? I think it's this one. Okay, correct. So just give a quick little reminder of what this is. Miss Naziah Harris, sister of the defendant teen's family, testified. We'll listen to that, a little bit of that yesterday. But I want to elaborate more on the story. Okay. Now, Naziah was last seen getting off of her bus, right? From school. This is a 13-year-old girl. So that's where she was last seen. Something stuck with me yesterday when I read that the judge, what was her name? The judge, let me pull what she said back up because, okay, let me pull her back up because she said something that stuck with me. I said right here, Judge calls our family. Judge Sabri. So before the ruling, Sabri said she wanted to speak on behalf of Naziah on the community that failed her. Sabri said based on what she heard in the last few days, several people failed her. She began listing family members and school officials accusing them of failing Naziah. I don't know where her mother is, Sabri continued. I don't know anything other than she was forced to live at home where she was not protected nor given adequate attention and love. I don't know who her father is. I don't have any mention of him in her life. No presence. All the men who saw Jarvis hanging out and always around these young girls, including Zaya and his 9-year-old daughter, going up to the shop to clean up. The school counselor never showed up, or the person who was supposed to show up at that council was absent after Naziah was on the floor that day she went missing. She needed to speak to someone and to speak to the counselor. She pointed out there was no mention of CPS and wondered about their involvement with them. She called Naziah's grandmother's testimony questionable. That stuck with me. That's one thing that's because it's like even the judge is calling what the grandmother said, the testimony questionable, not even speaking on her emotion at that point, just stating what grandmother said at all was questionable. Please hit the like, over 300 people in the building, 80 likes. Please double tap that screen. Thank you to all 80 people thus far who have. I really appreciate that. So let's keep going. So, okay. She understood her grandmother's testimony was used to establish where Naziah lived and her regular routine. And she understood she was not a runaway child. That also stuck with me. So it's like, she's not prone to running away or anything like that, or not come home. So why would you not call the police? Why would you wait till the following day? However, Sabri found it hard to believe that Butts never went to the house or went to the home as the grandmother testified. Now, when the grandmother testified that Butts, which is Jarvis, the man, the 42-year-old man that did this to this poor 13-year-old girl, Naziah, that stuck with me. And not stuck with me because obviously Jarvis was in the home due to the text messages of Naziah stating, like, you better not be in my room, and whatnot. Him also texting her and saying, I'm at your house. Now, the grandmother never said that Jarvis never was at the house. She was just making it seem like it was rare occurrence, like maybe she could count on one hand how many times he's been there, when it's like that's actually a lie. You can't count on hands, toes, eyelashes, and he'd been there so many times, so she was lying about that. And again, that's saving him, like that's helping his testimony. So when he is on trial, he can state, I was never there. Even according to the woman that lived there, that's her home. She stated even out of her own mouth, that I wasn't there, because he pleaded not guilty to the crimes of Naziah. So her testimony is helping him because he gets to use that, right? So again, when she said Sabri found it hard to believe Butts was never in the home. Before that, I looked at this information. The judge said to the grandmother, she understood her grandmother's testimony was used to establish where Naziah lived in her regular routine. So linking that, her regular routine, meaning every day when she went to school, she got off that bus and she came straight into the house. That was her routine. Her routine, in my opinion, was no different than that day. Here's the gotcha with why these two things stuck with me: the routine part and the grandmother testifying that Butts was never in the home. I believe that when Naziah got off the bus day, I believe she went home. I think Naziah went home first. In the text message, when she had stated to Jarvis that it'd pick her up and whatnot, it didn't mean that she wasn't speaking of home. She never said, pick me up from the bus free or pick me up. No, she just said the things that she needed, today, and whatnot. So we don't know exactly where Naziah went when she got off the bus, but no witness stated that there was a vehicle for her or that she got off the bus and walked up to a vehicle. Another case in point, if he picked her up right away, why would he cool? Why would he not? She walk down the street or something and then he just pick her up, from there, if he was going to take her and straight out. No. I believe, in my opinion, that she met Jarvis, went home first. Jarvis picked her up and they went towards the shop, is what I'm gathering. Another reason I gather that is because the grandmother, which of course even the judge stated a test questionable, the grandmother called the police at the following morning. Remember, Naziah's routine was getting off that bus and pretty much coming to the house. That was part of her daily routine, of coming in from back and forth to school. So if Naziah went home first, the grandmother knew that Jarvis picked her up from the house. Why would she call the police when she know where Naziah is? Think about it. Why would she call the police if she knew Naziah left with Jarvis? She knew where Naziah was. She was with Jarvis. She knew. So what was her point in calling the police? So at that point in time, I'm going to put what I think fully happened. I believe that Shannon, which is Naziah's aunt, the one that was with Jarvis and didn't have 5 kids, have 6 kids together, okay? And her own family says they have 6 kids, not me. Her family says that her and Jarvis have 6 children together. Naziah went home, is what I feel. Shannon knew that Naziah was pregnant. She knew that she was. And Jarvis told the aunt, Shannon, about the plan of getting Naziah to abort the baby by rather drinking antifreeze or whatever he was going to do the abortion himself. And I believe that Shannon okayed it. I think that she was completely fine with him doing that. And I also think that the grandmother knew that information as well. What they didn't know is that Naziah was going to die. They did not know that. I do not believe that when he left that house with Naziah, that they felt like he was about to go take her and end her life. No. What was supposed to happen was the baby's life was supposed to be ended, and they were okay with that. Then things went wrong. When those things had went wrong, that is when I believe Jarvis drove back to the house. That is why there is no phone records or anything with Jarvis and Shannon or the grandmother, because they all spoke to each other, like face to face. And even the conversation prior to Jarvis leaving the house with Naziah, that was a verbal conversation. So there would be no record when all of these people are talking to themselves. Also, looking at the cell phone pings pinged him at the 7 Mile address twice that day on the 9th. So again, it's the address he was being pinged to, not the bus stop. He was not being pinged to that bus stop. I believe he picked her up from that home, from her grandmother's house. Her grandmother was known to send Naziah with him to clean up the shop, which if you look at the pictures from the shop was a mess. It was trashed. So what cleaning up were they actually doing? The grandmother never called the shop. That is a problem. The grandmother not calling the shop, Shannon not calling the shop. None of them ever called. If they're not going to go up there, you could at least call. None of them did, because they knew Naziah wasn't at the shop. They knew Naziah was with Jarvis. That's why they didn't call the police. Why call the police when you know where she at? You know where she at. So it wasn't she didn't call the police because she knew that Naziah's life was ended. No, she didn't call the police because she didn't know exactly where they were, but she knew that Jarvis and Naziah were, because she was pregnant by him. Because she was pregnant. They absolutely knew that she was pregnant, and they knew that she was pregnant by Jarvis. So the ending of the baby and whatnot, I believe both parties knew. I believe the grandmother knew, and I believe Shannon, the aunt, knew as well that that Jarvis was taking Naziah to go end the baby, to get rid of the child. So when the things had went left that night, and Naziah ended up pretty much passing away, or rather he ended her because, things went wrong, that's when he went back, like I said, to the house and had a conversation with them about what had happened. I believe they assisted, because at this point in time, now everyone is complicit, because they knew where Naziah was, and they also knew that Naziah was illegally having a relationship with this man. They knew that, 100%. They knew. So now they are in the crossfire. Now they are accessories to what has happened to her. They didn't know that she was going to pass away, but they did know the methods of what he was going to go about to do to her. He's just an idiot. Like, he's stupid. Like, antifreeze? Like, are you serious? That's why it's a high probability that it was definitely antifreeze that was used. Because if it was like Plan Bs or things like that, I don't think she would have passed away. But I do not think that her dying was intentional. I don't think that. I think that he was just trying to end the baby, get rid of the baby, and things went wrong. And when they did, she was screwed. So also with the clothing that they said they found, it didn't find, or it didn't show any struggles or a sign that maybe there was a confrontation or she was hurt. I believe she willingly took the antifreeze because he was grooming her. So I believe he manipulated her into thinking that she should get rid of the baby, maybe promising her to have one in the future, things like that, convincing her like, look, this is a lot on you, it's messing you up with school, all of that, you just gotta get, ain't no space for her, how you gonna take care of it, like we can't take care of it right now, da da da. So I believe that he convinced her to drink it. So that's where the no struggle comes in. And I think she willingly did it because she wanted to please him. She wanted to make peace. She was in love with him. So she would have did anything he said because she already did. She had did anything he said. And she, poor thing, young, naive, she not exactly knowing what's going on. So, yeah, I think that's why there was no struggle. And I think that once he went back, because I think he freaked out when she either passed away or was starting to. And I also don't believe that the antifreeze struggle happened in the hotel, because there is no signs of anything of a struggle inside of the hotel. I believe they were sitting somewhere in a car. I do. I believe they was out in a rural area, in the 7 Mile area, and I think that he convinced her to do it in the car. I do. Again, the clothing, removing it from her, from either the car or yeah, the fiance's car. Removing the clothing in the car or removing the clothing, pulling her body out of the car and removing the clothing, and whatnot. I don't think it happened in the hotel. I think it happened in a car. I think that's why it was easier for him to get rid of her body. And I believe that when he traveled back, this is just my opinion, when he traveled back to the house, because I think he went back because it pinged him back at the address multiple times that day. I think her body was probably in the car, or on either in the car or on the ground where he convinced her to drink it, left her out there, and then came back to the house and because his Shannon knew, she knew, she didn't know that girl life was gonna be ended, but she knew what the plan was. She just didn't think it was gonna go awry. She didn't think that, and neither did Jarvis. So I think he freaked out. I think he went back, talked to her, like, oh, I think she did, da 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 da, blah blah blah, and told her like bury her or something. I believe she was buried. I don't think she was put in a river or anything like that. I do believe she was buried because it's been a year and they have not found her body. Speaking of finding her body, now this is just my theory, just me critical thinking, sitting around because I was thinking about it all night. I was pulling up stuff, reading stuff all night. So I will also say this: no one is looking for her. No one is looking for her. Not even her family. Let's get that. Hold on. No one is looking for her. Now this is Zaya's cousin. Let's get into this.
Detroit, Michigan with we're here in Detroit, Michigan with the family of Isaiah Harris.
Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. R.I.P. Isaiah Harris.
About Isaiah.
Isaiah
Yeah, this
was
is Roxy.
13 years old. She went missing January 9th of 2024 after school, after getting off of the school bus. She was supposed to come home and she just didn't come home. We recently found out through evidence with the prosecutor, Kim Worthy, that she was picked up by the man in custody by the name of Jarvis Butts, who actually picked her up after school. They did some tracking and came back to his workspace. He was a car mechanic, or had a workspace in a car mechanic, or owned a car mechanic shop. And Messiah was never seen again after that.
What city was that car mechanic shop at?
It was in Detroit, Michigan, on the east side of Detroit.
This was on November 21st, 2024, and it's called Missing People in America. Have you ever heard of Missing People in America? It's not necessarily a blog, because again, Naziah was missing. No one knew. I mean, assumed that she is dead, but Jarvis is pleading non-guilty, and there is no body. So Naziah is still technically listed as missing, not deceased, because in order to do that, you would have to find. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. I'm so sorry about that. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Yes. So this is who this is. So this is pretty much just the people that are helping people try to find missing loved ones. Is Missing People in America. But this was done on November 21st, 2024.
Okay. Was that area ever searched?
They say it was.
Okay.
Okay, listen to that. Listen to that.
It's in Detroit, Michigan, on the east side of Detroit.
Okay. Was that area ever searched?
They say it was.
So again, so the area where she was last pinged or last seen was around the body shop area. She said that they said that area was searched. So what proof do we have that they're actually looking for Naziah? It's been a whole year and they have not found her body. He was not pinged going out of the state. He was not pinged going to another city. So she has to be in that area. She did not just disappear. She didn't. Okay? She didn't. She is in that area. She has to be. Where else could she be? Where else could she be? So I'm questioning the police department there because what have you actually searched? Even the family is stating, well, they say they did. Because you would have found her already. you would have found her. They had the dive teams go out into the river and whatnot. So it's like, since they didn't find her in the river, they just assuming that she just, oh well, we'll just wait for him to stay where she is. He's not doing that. He has stated he is not guilty. It is the police department's responsibility to find her body so these charges stick. Because without a body, it is going to be hard to make sure that he never sees the light of day again. It makes it a higher probability of him getting off if she is not found. We need to find her. At this point, she is still technically missing. There is no proof that she is deceased. There's no proof. We have no proof that she's gone. Nothing. Not a finger, not a body part, nothing. We don't have nothing to indicate she is a corpse. It is an assumption at this point. So how can you make murder charges stick and you don't even know if the person's dead? In the court of law, it's about evidence, not about what we know. Because we know he took her life. We know he did. But in court, you have to prove that. Okay? So we need Naziah's body like yesterday. Hello? Yesterday, they just found some clothes and assumed. And here's the thing. The clothes that they found were not the clothes that she was missing in. Those are not the clothes. And then on top of the clothes, you should know that that's to throw you off. If the clothes were basically just put there like they said that the clothes were fresh, if the clothes were fresh, then that means that she is nowhere near where they put the clothes. That's to throw you off the scent. To throw you off, to have you looking over there, and she ain't nowhere over there. Nowhere over there. Everywhere his cell phone pinged should have dug up. That whole auto body shop in the back where there's a wooded area with trees and all of that should be dug up because he is an idiot. And also the grounds of him, because the last place she was seen was at the body shop. So why is everything over there not dug up? Because he is an idiot. And taking her and digging her in the back over there by the auto body shop makes sense because he will have as much time as he needs. He's not trespassing. It's his property, and whatnot. People can just come on to that property. You are listed as trespassing, especially when the business is closed. You're not supposed to be there. So he have as much time as he needs going back to the grandmother's house. So again, that she's somewhere around there, and I do think that it's a hard because since he's so stupid, because he's not smart, he's not clever, he's not. He went to jail for all of this stuff before, so he learned some things while he was there. All right, but he's still a fucking idiot. He's stupid. So it's a high probability her body could be on the auto body shop. They didn't dig it up over there. They didn't do none of that. Everything over there at that trashed auto body shop is still intact. They ain't got no dogs and nothing over there. Nothing. Nothing. It shouldn't be a part of that property that you could see. They should dig the whole damn thing up. Because 9 times out of 10, this probably is.
Okay. Did you ever personally search it, or?
I searched a hotel that was bought.
Don't let this over your head. What she saying? Hold on.
Okay. Did you ever personally search it?
I searched a hotel that was bought up in Discovery.
So no. So y'all didn't search. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. If this is my family, I am not going to not look for them. All of y'all should be fail her enough. Everybody did. Everybody should take a little piece of guilt in this family from this situation because y'all may not know exactly what was going on, but y'all had an idea. She's about to state out her own mouth how she met Jarvis, had gotten in trouble for this before, spent a long time in jail, and then he and her aunt Shannon ended up working it out, getting and having more children and whatnot. So y'all already knew what y'all needed to know. You hear that girl missing, and you know his background, you know the stuff that he done did. Why would you not formulate like, okay, obviously he did something to her. So that means that you could have gotten her out of that situation prior. Prior. None of y'all did anything. No, nobody. But now that she goes want to act like they care about her. Roxy, how do you care about her, sweetie? Like, I'm not trying to put pressure on you, but at the same time, how you sitting there talking about you care about this girl, but you only went to the hotel? You only went to the hotel. This my family. I'm looking wherever we can. Wherever they will allow us to look and dig, that's what we are doing. Sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands to force the police to do something. If the police is showing up because people are calling the police because we on land that we're not supposed to be on digging because we think that our dead loved one is there, then that will force the police to do their job. It'll force them to. Because if y'all don't want us out here digging and all of that stuff, then why aren't y'all? Why are y'all not doing this? It's been a whole year and y'all still have not found her. Why? Why is that? Why are they not putting enough pressure on Jarvis to speak? Hello? Hello? This is crazy. But then you think back to the Central Park fellas and all of that, and Donald Trump was trying to get the death penalty for them because of what happened to a woman. But this black girl, a 13-year-old at that, goes missing, and it's like, and we have proof that she was being essayed and all of that prior to missing. And y'all still haven't found her, although she's in a short radius. The radius is short. It's not like y'all gotta cover 300-400 miles. Y'all ain't even gotta cover 6 miles, maybe 5 miles, because that's it. That's about it. Maybe a good 5-6 miles. Are you kidding me? And she's clearly buried. She is buried. She ain't in no water. She's not. So this is crazy. It's been over a year. And y'all don't even have a lead to where this girl body is because y'all not looking. Y'all not looking. And then it's with the family too. Y'all not looking neither. The most you did was went to a hotel, girl. That's it. That's it. Because I'll be out in the woods, wherever, water, wherever. I'm going to look for my family, and I'm going to try to get as many resources as possible together to help. Try to get the community involved, all of that. Y'all ain't doing none of that shit. This is not something that you just do when it starts. This is something you continue. You don't stop until you find her. You don't stop until you find her. Yeah, it's exhausting. But how exhausting is it to sit there wondering where she is? I would rather be doing something to get closer to finding her. You got celebrities and stuff that want to cover this girl funeral costs and all of that. But how can she gonna have a proper funeral? Y'all can't even find a body. And y'all ain't looking for it. A hotel, that's it? That's crazy.
Just doing my own due diligence of it, and several people that I personally interviewed did identify him without me, even showing too much of him. But a lot of people did know who he was, and he was in the area and had been over there frequently.
Okay. Now, she left. Did she have her bag and everything with her at that time?
Yes, it was stated that she did. It was a picture of her, like, actually on the bus. And the police did confirm that she got off of the bus.
Okay. Were any of her personal belongings ever found?
I'm not for sure if her personal belongings were found by the police.
Okay, but were they found at all or by anyone? Or?
They haven't stated anything yet.
No, this man, he was known to the family already?
Yes, he was Naziah's boyfriend. He had already previously did time before of sexual misconduct, I believe.
So Roxy says he was Naziah's boyfriend. How can Naziah be 13, not even 11, dating a 40-year-old? How in the was that her boyfriend? No, that was her abuser, is what he was. They never dated. So y'all pissing me off. They never dated. She just said that was Naziah's boyfriend. No, it was not. Naziah's boyfriend would have been going to school with her. Are you kidding me? That wasn't her damn boyfriend. That was your auntie's husband. That was your cousin's Her.
Of a 13-year-old girl, or under. And he got out.
Oh no! Hold on. No, no.
Known to the family already?
Yes, he was his boyfriend. He had already previously did time before of sexual misconduct, I believe, of a 13-year-old girl, or under. And he got out.
You mind? She said. She said. Yeah. She kept saying. It's the same way. She said. Yeah. Not yeah. She should have said. And technically, okay. But she said. It's not her boyfriend. Her abuser.
Explained to her that he was a registered offender and what he was in there for. He gave her the option to have a.
She says, explain to her aunt. So she said aunt, clearly. Clearly. And the aunt knew exactly what he was capable of. She knew what he had prior. And she's speaking on this, Roxy. So everybody knew what type of person he was in that family. They already knew what they were doing.
Relationship with her. And she continued to have a relationship with him, much so that she has 6 kids by him.
Now, she said they have 6 kids. Online, people are saying that they have 5 kids. They have 6 children together.
And how long was he out for?
I'm not for certain when he got out, but I think he's been out probably, I think he got out in the 90s. So he's been out, I would say maybe about 5-10 years almost.
Okay. Now, his trial is currently going on, or is it about to go on?
He has a trial of Messiah Harris, my cousin, obviously. He has 3 other cases right now of sexual misconduct. With at the times of their ages, I believe 4, 6, 8.
This is Roxy, and shout out to Roxy. Like, I don't have an issue with her. I'm just like really pissed off about things. Sorry. I'm just like really pissed off. So I'm really angry, at situation, because it's just all necessary. Police, because it's like you knew everything. Everybody knew what they needed to know. Why expect him to be other than who he is? And it's not like he did it one time. He did it multiple times. Multiple.
And a 13-year-old.
Okay. Get write some things down. Now, it was said that there was between Isaiah and him prior to her disappearance.
The prosecutor did a press conference to state that there were some text messages exchanged between Jarvis and Isaiah. I guess trying to insinuate that he made Isaiah believe that they were in a relationship, and apparently
he literally have a 4-year-old chlamydia, and this is who you decide to have 6 kids with. This who you decide to move into your home. This who you decide to take your niece back and forth to the shop and whatnot and all of that. Like, the majority of their sexual encounters were either in the basement or her bedroom in her grandmother's home. And ones that did not partake there were at the shop that they kept sending her to, that they kept allowing this man that gave a 4-year-old an STD to take her and her cousin, his 9-year-old daughter, away, although he had also got charges for abusing his own daughter, is one of his victims. Like,
the relationship was intimate.
Okay. Now, what do you or the police believe happened?
The police have come out with their statement based off of their evidence that they have, which they haven't presented to the court yet, because obviously the ongoing investigation, so that hasn't been brought out yet.
No, not that it hasn't been brought out yet, sweetheart Roxy. They don't have anything. They don't have anything. They don't already disclose the majority of the text messages and all of that going back years. They don't have anything. Yeah, it's not that it's because it's a current and ongoing investigation. They're taking him to trial. So whatever they have, they are already given. That's it. Now they'll take new information. They'll take new evidence. They'll take that absolutely and turn that in. Yeah. But what they have already is what they have. It's been a whole year and they haven't even located her body. So what do you think they have? They don't have a body. If you have a body, you have a lot of information. You have a lot of what you need. How the person passed, all of that. Was she pregnant? The fetus, all of that will be there, right? That's just what they were. With them not finding her body, what you see, Roxy, is what you get. They don't have anything. No. The information that the judge, Sabri, put together and stated that that was enough evidence for him to stand trial, the evidence is weak, okay? When it comes to her murder. Everything else, the evidence is really strong for his other charges that he has. The charge for murder and him taking her life and even possibly a double homicide with, which I would say like second degree, they don't have that because they don't have any bodies. They don't have a fetus, a deceased fetus, anything. They don't have any of that. They don't. So when it comes to the big charges of keeping him behind bars for the rest of his life, zero evidence. They have zero evidence that Naziah was unalived. Zero. They have no evidence of that. Because if they did, they could find her body. They could find her. They could find her. If you know that she's gone, then you know where at least where it happened or where around it happened. You would know those things. He has no intention, Jarvis has no intention of telling the police where she is, unless he comes to some type of epiphany or just decides to do the right thing. And I highly doubt that. He's a career criminal. So the charges that they do have for him, he will not be in jail for the rest of his life. He will get out again one day. He will. This is why finding her body is so important before this trial is over. The trial is already starting and they still don't have her body. So how can you charge him with murder with no body? You need a body. You need one. So it's a high probability if this body is not found before this trial, because you got double jeopardy. He gets acquitted of that charge of murder because lack of evidence. Because again, just saying the last time she was seen that they was together, he's stating not guilty. So you already know when he go to testify, he's going to lie. Oh yeah, we were together. I did see her, but I didn't see her when she got out of school. We were supposed to meet. I went to the bus stop or around the house, and I didn't see her. So I kept going. That was another girl I was with that day. I don't know what my sister's talking about. But I say all type of stuff, and they kind of just got to go with it because the evidence is weak. The evidence is weak. Even seeing them together at the shop and seeing that she was allegedly on camera at the gas station, that she went into to use the restroom, and all of that. She was alive. That is what that shows. That's it. It doesn't show a sign of struggle, nothing. She willingly got in that truck, willingly got out of it, willingly walked into that gas station, willingly walked back out that gas station, and willingly got back into that truck. Okay? So that does not show a crime. That's not enough. So it's like, yeah, okay, they were together last, but if he said he dropped her off somewhere or she went over to friends or there was this person she was talking to at the hotel and they left, and whatnot, they kind of just got to go with it. They kind of just got to go with it. And then from what I'm seeing, the hotel cameras don't necessarily show her coming in and out of the hotel. It showed him, and he was documented of having a room that night. But, what do we do? What do we do? We need to find her body. While he's on this trial happened, and they decide that, due to lack of evidence, we're not going to charge him with this because we can't. He's not getting charged with it again, even if they do find her body. I'm not charging him with it again. He already got charged with it. This is it. Double jeopardy. They can't charge him again. So after he's acquitted, now they can charge him while he's on trial. They find the body. Perfect. New evidence submitted. We got the body. Great. Then we can make this charge stick. But he's already a 3-time offender when it comes to being a Pedialyte, when it comes to SA with children, 3-time offender. Will this make 4? He got out other times. Why wouldn't he get out this one? Even if he do serve 10, 15 years, he's still gonna get out. And he's still gonna be able to do this all over. He's gonna be able to target another woman and do this all over. So yeah, y'all, this is why I keep saying it's important to find her body. Because that is how that charge is going to stick. They cannot fully charge him with murder when she's listed as missing. There's no proof that she's deceased. It's just an assumption. Everyone is assuming that she is deceased. Everyone is assuming that. Everyone is assuming it. D. Michelle says he's not getting out. Without a body, he's getting out. He's getting out. Mhm. He's getting out one day. They're not giving him life. Did he get life for giving a 4-year-old an STD? No. So why would he get life for doing this again? This girl's older. She's older than 4. So there's more grounds up to try to push a gave consent, although you can't at that age. So yeah, there is a high probability if that murder charge does not stick, he will get out one day. He's done this 3 times already. This just makes it 4. He got out 3 times. Why would he get out this one? Why would he get out this one? Why not? I'm not saying that he's not going to do time. Oh yeah, he's going to. Well, he should be. He should never see the light of day again. Yeah. Without that body, they cannot charge it. I mean, again, that as of right now, they are charging him with murder. That's one of his charges. But that is just a charge at this point in time. Okay? The judge needs solid evidence that she is deceased in order to charge him. Because if she's running around the world somewhere right now with somebody just now and whatnot, and somebody's in charge with murder and she's not dead, that falls onto the court. So they're not going to risk their reputation, all of that, for insufficient evidence. Yeah, it's a high probability she's gone, but stranger things have happened. There have been plenty of men that have went missing and people assumed that they were gone and then they pop up years later. You know, it happens. So again, this is why they need as much evidence as possible to say that she is deceased. They don't have any of that. There has been nothing, even if you look online, there's nothing showing that Naziah Harris is deceased besides assumptions. People are assuming that she is based off of internet searches and all of that. We don't know if she drank antifreeze. We don't know. We have no idea because her body has not been recovered. So we don't know. These are theories, not exactly what happened. Jarvis he didn't text nobody what happened, none of that stuff. The only people that could testify on Naziah's behalf right now are the people that are protecting Jarvis, which is her grandmother and her aunt Shannon, because they know what happened to her. They know. They know she is deceased. That is why they have no emotion, because they done already grieved. They've already grieved her. Now, if you truly don't know what's going on, that's when all the emotion is coming in. That's when you're sitting there because you don't know. You have no idea. They know. That's why they can sit there and just speak and not cry uncontrollably. You know, that's why. Because they're already at peace with the fact that she gone because they know she gone. What they're doing right now is making sure damage control is that they don't get in trouble because they were complicit. Now, I don't believe that it was their plan. I don't believe that they wanted her to pass away. I don't know that. Not at all. But I think they're going to cover themselves. They are. Jarvis gets caught means they get caught. Yes. That is why they are protecting him. The grandmother getting on the stand saying that he was barely over there. Although looking at the text messages, you can clearly see that he was over there often. That the essay was happening in her home. That there was a minor witness that stated he had tried to do the same thing to her and she said no. And then he started having SCX right there in front of her with Naziah, her grandmother's home. Naziah getting a message from him. Hey, you up? Where you want to do this at? Him messaging her. You naked yet? That's in her grandma's house. That's at her grandmother's. So you can see through text message that he was there umpteen time, too many times to count. So for her to get up there on that stand and try to make it seem as if he was barely there, it's because she is complicit. She knows what happened to that girl. She knows. So her, and no different than the aunt getting up there in that stand lying, saying that all I saw was an uncle-niece relationship. How? When the girl was walking around pregnant and you knew that she was pregnant and you knew who she was pregnant by. You knew that. To further show the complicity, her routine was coming home after she got off that bus. She did not spend nights out. Was not a runaway. She was none of those things. That girl would be at home. She would. So for you, that's why most parents would call the police if their kid don't come home, if that's something that they regularly do. So if my kid ain't here, I ain't heard from them, nothing, something is wrong. Something is wrong. It's like you can feel it. You know, like as a parent, it's like your stomach start turning. You know, you start to get nervous. You start, to get antsy, anxiety, stressed. You know, like where are they? We as parents, we freak out sometimes when our kids is like an hour late. When they like 2 hours late, we are already ready to strangle them, when they walk in. We already upset. So imagine a whole overnight, and don't nobody call the police because y'all knew where she was at. That's why. Correct. Now, you would call the police if you truly had no idea. If you didn't know where the kid was, then yeah, I think that they would have called the police. Correct. But since they knew where she was at, there ain't no point. There's this one call the police, he'll bring her back, is how I'm sure the grandmother was probably looking at it. Because I think the grandmother knew less and knew more as the day went on. I don't think she knew the full plan, but I do think that she had an idea because her and her daughter seemed to be close. Shannon and her mom, they do seem to have, a closer relationship. So I do believe she said something to her, and I do believe both parties knew that she was pregnant. And, having a household where you got a bunch of kids and stuff here. Shannon got 6 kids, all of that plus Naziah, now Naziah pregnant, bringing the baby in. Why would they not? I'm sure they were in agreement to her getting rid of the baby. Who gonna feed? Who gonna take care of? She's 13. Who all that? That responsibility is falling on to the grandmother, and I'm sure the grandmother don't want that responsibility. She's older. Like, yeah, I ain't got time to be raising a baby. I'm already raising her, and now she got the audacity to go out here and get pregnant. But you know who she pregnant by. So that's where the pickle. When there's a little pickle. And then jumping to the aunt. You pregnant by my man. You pregnant by my nigga. Get rid of it. So I believe the grandmother and the aunt were completely complicit with him getting rid of the baby. And they knew he was going to do that. That's the plan for them to get, up the mission, is what the plan was, and it went awry. And they found out later on that night. I don't think that they found out right away. And I believe that's why he drove to the house, that there's no phone record or anything that can state that he did anything to her. Because they were all verbal conversations. I feel like he panicked. He's known for essaying and stuff, but he's not known for taking lives. He's not known for doing that. So this is, in my opinion, the first life that he's taken. And then I go back and I think about it, and it's like, well, is it? Is it? Because there's plenty of other Black girls that are missing in that area that are underage. So is it this his first time? Is it? Is he a little bit better at getting rid of bodies than we think? Going to jail, realizing that getting caught is the problem? So this time, get rid of them. We get close to getting caught, get rid of the person. The hotel stated that he frequented that hotel with younger women, not grown women, younger women. Are these some of the girls that's missing? The hotel that he was at stated that he was a regular. He was a regular. And he was known to bring women there. So if he brought Naziah there, and that's one of the women he brought, you think that he was bringing adult women to the hotel? A motel? Or did they assume that they was grown because they was black girls? Or did they just assume it? Or did they just assume, like, oh, they're grown? Or did they know because he brought Naziah? She wasn't grown. She was 13 years old. She was 13. So now looking into it, looking at those girls, and that is fact. He frequented that hotel. And not only that, he frequented it with women. But were they? Think about Naziah. She was one of the people. So I highly doubt he was taking women back to that hotel when he could have been taking grown women to a shop. He was sleeping with Naziah at the shop. He was sleeping with her at the shop. Why couldn't he bring grown women to the shop? He have to bring grown women to his house to cheat. He could do it at the shop. He don't have to get a hotel. He doesn't have to. Yeah. I believe he was getting hotels because he was dealing with underage girls. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Walking in certain neighborhoods, going into certain neighborhoods and whatnot, just, seeing a girl hanging out like, hey, shorty, come here. Talk to her, some girls being, just curious, and then one thing leads to another, and now they're missing. Now they're gone. So I was Naziah the first girl he unalived? It opens up a whole new can of worms with this dude, because if he had been getting away with this for years, he met Naziah when she was 2. He gave a 4-year-old an STD. Why would I believe that he started sleeping with Naziah at 11 when he knew her since 2? If you could sleep with somebody 4, why can't you sleep with somebody 2 years younger? What's the difference? One can walk, both of them walk, and all of that. I mean, why would I believe that it started then and no one talked to Naziah about it? So nobody knew when it started. The assumptions is by the evidence of when it started. And the evidence is the text messages. So prior to the text messages, there is no evidence. Why would there be when she didn't have a phone yet? So she had a phone at like 3, 4 years old, 5 years old. She couldn't read or anything like that. So why would he have been texting her? No, he just phoned her and coerced her. He met her when she was 2. What in the fuck? What I think it started at 11. No, that's just the first trail of proof, that it was going on. He did his own daughter. So, hello? Hello? Like, you know, um, yeah. Cynthia said a cousin got life without a body. Now, I'm not saying that it's not possible for him to be charged with it in Detroit, because again, you got every state is different. Every So if it happened in Detroit in that same area, in the 7 Mile area, then I feel like you could compare. But if it didn't happen there, if a cousin of yours or someone may have done that in Cali or Florida or somewhere like that, again, laws are different. Just like some states have the D penalty and some states don't. So again, everywhere's different because he should be facing the D penalty. But if the state does not provide it, then he can't face it. So in Detroit, or I should say Michigan, how their law is set up, it's a lower probability of him serving or being fully charged with that due to lack of evidence when it's a high crime area. So it's a high crime area, meaning usually there's evidence to back what is going on. So they're not going to, just because they go sorry for her, charge him with murder if they don't have the sufficient evidence to be able to keep him behind bars. We have to think this is why people do retrials and take things back into court and continue to fight it due to lack of evidence and things like that, to where things can be overturned or sentences can be lessened. So again, the judge and the is thinking about those things, you know, charge him with due to evidence, he's going to come right back. Because you have that right to, by law, you are entitled to a retrial, to do it over. So again, if you feel like you have substantial evidence or reasoning backing why you should not be charged, and he is pleading not guilty. Not guilty. So he is planning on getting on that stand and lying. And to tell y'all, he planned on getting up there lying and making it look everything other than what it was. That is his plan. Yes. His plan is to make it seem as if she left. His plan is to make it seem as if he dropped her off somewhere and that was that. Because what other proof does anybody have that he didn't? What proof? All of the witnesses state seeing her alive. No witnesses coming forward and stated that they saw them fighting, saw her in distress, nothing. Even the sister. The sister said, yeah, I saw her. She was getting in and out of the car and blah, blah. So there's nothing to state that she is deceased. So even without a body, if you have enough evidence to say like, okay, well, he went and bought this, so he did this, and then this message says this, and then, or he told this person, he confessed to this person, nothing. I mean, even a confession can help, but not even that. Because the only people he confessed to are protecting him, which is Shannon, the aunt, and her mother. They are protecting him. The aunt got up there knowing that Neziah was pregnant, knowing his background and everything that he has done to innocent girls, including her own daughter, from what I'm hearing, and stated that she just saw a normal uncle-niece relationship. A normal uncle-niece relationship is the niece being pregnant by him. That's normal. There's nothing normal about that. Nothing. And you would think if the aunt was not protecting him and her, if she's protecting Jarvis and herself, knowing his background, why wouldn't you fight for your niece? Why wouldn't you get on that stand and say, you know what? I know he did this. I know he did. And just be honest. And even if you don't have nothing to do with it, like if you truly had nothing to do with it, then you would be fighting for her. You would be out here looking for her. You would be out here interviewing and getting awareness out there and asking the community if they've seen anything, heard anything, please contact me, please reach out to me. She's not doing any of that. And neither is the grandmother because they are complicit. Sitting there as guilty parties is hard to do what innocent people do, like Roxy, the cousin right here. She's innocent. She don't have anything to do with this. She don't. She don't have anything to do with this. So why wouldn't she feel the need to go and interview and stuff like that? Yeah, create awareness, let everybody know what happened. Why wouldn't she? She doesn't have anything to do with it. She gets on that stand, she's going to get emotional, talking about her cousin. She's going to do that because she's innocent. She doesn't have anything to do with it. But when you have something to do with it, it's hard. It's hard to come and make it seem like, to act as if you don't. It's hard to do. It is. And this is why I believe that they knew. The grandmother knew because she never called the police. She didn't call until the next day because she knew where the girl was. Same thing with the aunt. Because why does everybody say, why didn't the grandmother call the police? Why didn't the aunt? Why didn't she? Why didn't the auntie? The auntie know her routine too. That's weird. Why about just talking about the grandmama? No. Why didn't she, the auntie, call the police when she know this track record? You know what he done to people. You know what he done to people's children. You know. Think about it. Y'all needs to leave with somebody that is a known Pedialyte. And she's not calling, she's not texting, she's not doing any of that. Wouldn't you be afraid? Wouldn't you be worried? They don't show, there's no phone records showing that they were calling him, the aunt or the grandmother. Why not? If the girl didn't come home, why not call the people that she normally did? Ain't that what y'all will do? You looking for your kid or niece or nephew, something like that. They got spots or around the place to hang out. Why not go there? They didn't even try to. But why would you go somewhere where she's not at? They knew she went at the shop, so why go to it? She ain't there. You know where she at. That's why you're not looking for her. Because you know where she at. So the shop should have been the first place they went. The first place. Because outside of that home, besides school, that's where Neziah spent the majority of her time. That shop. Cleaning up, although the shop was trashed. It was a mess. Because that's going to be one of the first things I look at. You said that you bring her here to help clean up, and the other people. Okay, I'm gonna be looking around and like, okay, why is everything? What is the? What? I come to the shop and they just sitting down. I come to the shop and they just in the car. Why? Ain't they supposed to be here cleaning up? Hello? What they cleaning up sitting in the car? Mm-hmm. What they cleaning up? Yeah. Because people like Jarvis can only attack. See, this is why it would be hard for somebody to try to do anything to my children. Because there are things that people would have to worry about. Both of their parents. We are too involved with our kids for someone to try to prey on them. They wouldn't be able to penetrate. They wouldn't be able to do it. You would have to take someone that is vulnerable. See, my children are vulnerable. They have a present mother and father, both present 100%. So you got barriers to get through before you could even try to get to them in that manner. And most predators don't want to deal with that because it's a higher probability that the information will get out there. That if you do something to them, they're going to say something to their parents. Like their parents are too involved. They're always around. Like, so you have one that has no supervision, nobody protecting them, nobody looking after them, because then you can do it longer and you don't really have to worry about getting caught, in that regard. So that's what makes this more sick, because he chose the defenseless. That's why I say I believe that the SA started a long time ago. A long time ago. So when people see how vulgar Naziah was speaking in the text messages and stuff like that, well, if you've been having sex with this man since you was 2 years old, why wouldn't you? He done trained you and groomed you. He like it, how he like you to speak, he like you to all of that. All of it. Hmm. Correct. Naziah's cousin that he was trying to sleep with was younger than her. And Naziah was, what, 12, I believe, at the time. That cousin was younger, and he had tried to get with her first. She said no. So then he went back, and so he, in the same room, ended up having sex with Naziah in front of this girl. Okay? So he was doing this to even his own kid, to anybody he could. Anybody he could lay his hands on underage, he's doing it. That's what they're. So, yeah, because none of these people were protected. That's why he would do his own children, because he is their protector. He is their protector. And the mother, Shannon, rendered them defenseless because he controls her. He controls Shannon. So since he controls Shannon and Shannon control mama, he got the whole house underneath control. While people state like, oh, this is weird, this is weird, this is weird. Yeah, because he control over the whole house, over everybody. So the grandmother trying to make it look like he was the man of the house. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Yeah. With the money and stuff that he'll make at the shop, he'll make sure that the grandma got money. He'll make sure that Shannon got money. And to some women, that's enough. Taking care of the household, you making sure we eating and all of that stuff, clothes on our back, we washing and drying, and all of that. I mean, I guess if you're doing that to her, well, but sweep it under the rug. Ignore it so you don't have to deal with it until you can't ignore it anymore. Her getting pregnant means that you can't ignore this anymore. Ignore it. You can't. So this is why he got rid of baby, because everything else to them was okay, because they knew. Just like they knew she was pregnant. I wasn't a few weeks pregnant. Like I said before, she had to be 5 months pregnant if she was stating this in September that she hadn't got her period. And then you're in November and she still ain't got her period. She's pregnant. She's pregnant. Okay? So that's just what that were. So a girl, 13 years old, Naziah had a smaller frame. You could clearly see that she was pregnant. You could see it. Okay? That's just what they were. So I believe that they knew, and they wanted that baby gone just as much as Jarvis did. Shout out to Meek and Finky. Thank you so much for the super sticker. She says he ain't gonna make the trial. They whooping his arse now. He is not in Gen Pop. He is not in general population. And I do think that he'll get hands laid on him, but let's keep it real. It's rare that these men die. They get beat up, yeah. Sometimes even assaulted themselves, SA'd themselves. But it's a higher probability that he'll make it out just fine. He again, he's a fourth time offender. If they didn't take his life because he gave a 4-year-old an STD, why would they take his life for a 13? Because I would have killed him in jail when I heard a 4-year-old, my nigga. Really? Up, for. I've been sharpening my shank at that point in time. A 4-year-old? Okay. Oh, a 4-year-old for real? So yeah, that would have been a whole issue for me. Life-taking type of issue. Yeah, and it's usually when they're in maximum security. So men that are in there for the rest of their lives, they don't mind taking a life. They ain't going nowhere, no way. So, yeah, I could see that, but right now he's not in general population. So that's why when you see him in court, you don't see that he's beat up or like that. And he's not in gen pop. He's segregated at this point. But yes. So I mean, but we'll see. I hope that girl. I would rather, because I don't know if this is gonna stick. I don't know if the charge is gonna stick without a body, and they still have not found her body. It's very crucial that that body is found. Okay, because he could fight this. Even if they charged him with it, they couldn't charge him with first degree. They couldn't charge him with second degree. It would probably be like third or fourth. It's probably what it end up coming to if he don't make a deal. Because sometimes they'll make a sweet deal for him, just to say that justice was served. And it's really not. And again, double jeopardy. If they find that body after the trial or after he pleads, it's just, oh well.
Trial will be January 6th.
And this is Roxy again. We're going to listen a little bit more of this. Roxy, this is Naziah Harris's cousin.
So everyone will be able to view it. Usually I go live.
What about his phone? Didn't they pin his locations? Yes. And actually I can pull that up real quick because I was reading that last night. This is another reason why he picked her up from her grandmother's house. I do believe her daily routine, she got off that bus and went home and waited for him to pick her up. But yes, where is it? I think it's right here. Where is it right here? No, that's the sister thing. Okay, yeah, I think this is it. So because they did ping his phone. Okay, so because that's one of the number one thing. I'm still waiting for them to drop the times. But right here it says, okay, Sergeant Melanie O'Rourke, I think it's that, with Detroit Police conducts forensic analysis on cell phones and towers. Her expertise helps her pinpoint the location of devices at certain times based on the records provided by communication companies like T-Mobile and AT&T. She was asked about several pieces of data that the police asked her to extract and present from the phone companies, including time and location of the phone number associated with Jarvis Butts. That included the moment his device was reported at the Parkcrest Motel in Harper Woods on January 9th, and then again in the area of 7 Mile and Berg on January 10th. Naziah Harris was last seen January 9th with Butts. Okay? So with the pings that they have, all this tells me is this first ping right here when it says that included the moment his device was reported at the Park Motel in Harper Woods on January 9th. That just lets me know that he left his phone there. And it doesn't mean that he had one phone. He could have definitely had two phones. They could have just been pinging that one because he left it at the hotel. So during that time that the phone was being pinged there does not mean that he was not gone. It's just the tower that is close by, which was close by that motel, pings his phone, but it doesn't mean he was there. It just means his phone was, not him physically. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying with the time frames. If he left his phone places, how do we know exactly when? Because people are associated to make it seem as if she got off that bus and then she got right in the car with him. I do not believe that happened. I think that she got off that bus and went home. I do. And I think he picked her up from her grandmother's house. I do. Whether he went in as an exchange of words or there was an argument or something like that on the way out or something. And I don't believe the argument was with Naziah. I believe the argument may have been with like Shannon. And then when they left, Because when the sister said she saw Naziah, she wasn't like disheveled or like arguing with anybody or anything like that. She seemed fine. She seemed like she was just hanging out waiting for him, because he was, I guess, fixing cars and stuff at that time. So I believe she was just sitting there chilling, hanging out, waiting for him. And the plan that he had to do was for later, so to get rid of the baby. So I think they was just chilling, and I think he did have certain conversations with Naziah about getting rid of the child prior to actually doing it, just so it can be on her mind, so she know what's up. And I think that it was easy for him to convince her to do so. So after I'm not even gonna say he convinced her at the shop, I think that they took a drive after that. And I don't think they went to one place. I think they went to a few different places and ended up in a rural area to where there's not many people and whatnot. And I think that that's where he had her either drink the antifreeze or whatever way he was planning on getting rid of the baby. I don't think it happened at the motel, because there would have been somebody that's at least seen him take her body out. Nobody saw that. So I don't think it happened at the hotel. I don't think it happened there. And I believe it was in the car, the fiance's car. I believe he was driving at the time or something like that. I believe it happened in the car. And I think that they need to search that car and look for evidence inside of that vehicle. And rather it's her DNA, rather she either vomited, or something like that. I mean, he do work on cars, so I'm sure he probably cleaned it really well, or something like that, but maybe he left something behind. But I do think that they should search the vehicle. I think they should search that truck that he was in, that the sister said that she saw it getting in and out. And I also think that they should search everything. In my opinion, you search everything. But I do think that it happened outside, because no one saw him transport a body, or there's no witnesses to anything like that. Derek says, I think he was sloppy, so they making him take the fall. I definitely think that he left breadcrumbs. I do. I think that they're not looking close enough into it, because I don't really feel like they care about this girl. I think the community is more concerned about her than law enforcement is. Now, I'm not saying that there are not people on law enforcement that care about her. There are. I do think that there are people that want to solve this case and bring her body home and, put her to rest. I do. But I don't think that this is like high priority, because it's been a whole year and they are no closer to finding where she is. So that just means nothing's being done. That's all that means. Nothing being done. Because if it was, you would be closer, at least. And the police have done no recent updates or anything stating or requesting someone come in and help to identify certain things. Nothing. So yeah, I don't think that they're trying very hard to solve this case. I really don't. That's why I think it's a high probability that without a body, he will not be charged. I think they're going to try, but the system is known for failing, and especially people that look like us, because it's set up to go against us. It's not set up to work in our favor. It's set up to go against us.
But I won't, because I'll obviously be in court during that time. But me personally, I feel like obviously he had a relationship with Naziah's aunt.
The family said allegedly they searched. But if you didn't see him searching, how you know that they did? Because I would be right there. I would be right there watching them search, at least on the property. If I can go in while they're conducting it, I get that. Police official business, stay behind the tape. I would stay behind the tape, but I would be at the tape. I would be at the fucking tape. I sure would. I don't understand why the auntie and the grandmother they should be doing what Roxy's like. Where are they? Your silence shows. If you have no idea to that girl, then you should be shouting to the mountains. You should be shouting to the mountains to find her. They're not. They're not. They're not in the streets looking for this girl. They're not. They don't care. It shows. That's why the judge even said herself that you're like, testimony is extremely questionable. Because it's like, girl, did you even care about the girl? Like, because woman, you sitting up here and I don't even know you, and I know you lying. All of these text messages stating the location, and the location is your house, but you sitting up here saying that he was barely there. He got her pregnant in your house multiple times. It sounds she took Plan Bs before all of that.
It was said that he got her pregnant, which I did my own research from the very beginning of this, as her family member. And I had said that in one of the TikTok videos that
the grandmother didn't cry because she's at peace. She's at peace. I think she's a little saddened by her being gone, but she's not mad at it. One less person to feed.
posted on my page that she looked pregnant. She was always on TikTok, doing TikToks with her cousin. So she was very much so always like on social media, teenage.
This is how you know. Stephanie said the grandma claims she didn't have a phone, that she didn't have one, or that Naziah didn't have one. And they never, Lauren says, they never took Shannon nor Granny's phones. And this is how you know that the police are not conducting a complete investigation. Because why would you not? These women, grandmother, nor aunt called the police when she was missing. That's a red flag to someone whose routine. She's not a runaway, not somebody that don't come home all the time or come in late or come when they want to. Then that is a pattern, with them. So then it would make sense to wait, because in most places you got to wait at least 24 hours before you can even make a missing persons report. So, but when they are a minor, the police will look into it sooner because it's dire to make sure that they're okay when there is no history or pattern of them showing up late or not coming home or being a runaway. If there's no history of anything like that, then they will start looking early a lot of the times. They will. They'll go to canvas neighborhoods and stuff and whatnot. You give them an idea of their last whereabouts or where they normally would be hanging out or something like that. They'll take a look. They're being a minor because it makes them more dire to do so. But to not say anything at all. This is why Amber Alerts are done so quickly, because they need to catch the person as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Hurry up, y'all. Everybody, it's your due diligence. Look outside. Do you see this? Whatnot. She's young enough for an Amber Alert to have been done. But they did nothing. None of them looked for the girl. None of them, because they knew where she was at. That's even more reason for the police to file and to get what do you call those? Warrants, search warrants, to get a search warrant on their phones. The both of them, since they didn't call the police. That's a red flag. So both of their phones should have been confiscated. Or why can't they get warrants to pull their records just like they pull? Because I feel like people would be shocked if Jarvis was having Naziah delete messages and stuff like that. You don't think he was doing the same thing with Shannon? You think he was doing the same thing with Shannon? He was literally telling her, Naziah, to delete the messages. So again, he's an idiot. Look into the phone records. Get Shannon's phone records. I think they will be pleasantly surprised. I do. And they might even figure out where she is. They might. Now, the grandmother, I don't think they're going to get too much information from that unless it's between Shannon and the grandmother having a conversation. But and they're with each other, so it's a lower probability that they were texting about it. But with him going back and forth, leaving it to go to that area, leaving this area to go to that area, he probably did text Shannon. He probably did. So they would probably be shocked in what they found. I sent someone in chat who ended up calling the grandmother the following morning. The next day, she ended up calling the police, stating that she didn't know where Naziah was. That was the next day. So he had the whole day to do this. Okay, he had her pretty much from the time she got out and so forth. So I don't believe that he picked her up. I don't, because a picture was taken of her on the bus. So people were paying attention to her. But you kind of watch them until the bus pulls off. So if getting directly into a car, I feel like somebody would have seen it. Somebody would have seen it. Somebody. Hmm. Her ID, school ID, was on the ground for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Show you how negligent people are in that area. You know, the missing girl's ID is sitting right here, right here. You know, so again, show you that they're very negligent in that area because most people would have been looked at. Because and then to show you how negligent the police is. Okay, because I have to cut the live because I'm emotional. Calm down, calm down. So the police, her last whereabout was the bus stop. How the fuck was her ID sitting there, her school ID sitting there for 2 weeks? And it took a stranger to find it. But y'all went to that same bus stop. Y'all verified that she got off the bus. But her ID sat there for 2 weeks at the bus stop. So that means that y'all were at the bus stop stepping on her ID. I gotta go. I gotta go. I'll be back tomorrow. I gotta go, guys. Thank you so much for the super stickers, liking the video, all of that stuff.